Hi, welcome to Fanboy and Critic, our show where we go see new movies out in theaters and tell you what we think of them. But this week we're just getting into Game of Thrones, and we don't need a reason to because it's Game of Thrones.
You should already know what it is.
Hey, by the way, this is going to spoil the episode for you if you watch it before you watch the episode. Where are your priorities in life? Watch the episode first. All right, Jay, what are your theories and predictions in this upcoming final season? Like, there are 3 dragons out there. You think they're all going to make it? Night King, who's going to kill him? Or is he going to kill everyone else?
At this point of Game of Thrones, it doesn't matter who lives, I feel like. So I think a lot of really key characters are going to die that we didn't expect. So you can expect that. I can't...
Specifics. Who do you expect to die in the unexpected deaths? Specifics. Anybody could say, I think a lot of people are going to die in this final season where the undead army is going to run roughshod over the entire population of Westeros. Who?
I haven't thought this far ahead. I can't believe it's finally here. We waited 2 years and I can't think of any kind of bold prediction.
Quit stalling!
Okay, I honestly think
Sorry.
Jon Snow, Khaleesi are gone. I think they're definitely going to die.
How?
How?
Ice Dragon, what? Night King? Syphilis?
I think Jon Snow's gonna die by the Night King's hand. I think she's definitely gonna die with her dragon. I don't know how she's gonna die. That's just my bold prediction. She's gonna die with her dragon. I'm not quite sure who's gonna kill her. But those are the 2 main characters I know for sure is not gonna make season 8 of Game of Thrones. I do think the one person that is gonna rule after all this is Gendry. Cause they kept them in for so long, and I mean, for what reason? That one connection. And he's gonna be the one to rule them all.
You don't keep Gendry around because he's related to the usurper, Robert Baratheon, when you have 2 direct descendants of the Targaryen bloodline.
Yes.
You have at least 2 that we know of. There are theories that Tyrion is a 3rd. We'll leave that on the table. Anyways, my predictions are... first and foremost, Arya is going to kill all of those dragons. All of them. One by one. Not at the same time, grant you. One by one. She will close 3 eyes forever. A blue set, a green set, a brown set. And it didn't make sense before Viserion got turned into a dragon zombie or thrall, whatever you want to call it. Walker.
Ice dragon.
He doesn't walk, he flies.
Ice dragon.
Bro, he flies. Anyways, his eyes are now blue. So the prediction that she will close 3 sets of eyes forever now makes a lot of sense.
That is so genius.
She's closed a lot more than 3 sets of eyes. So a prediction concerning 3 specific set of eyes makes a lot more sense when those sets of eyes are important. I think Arya and Gendry are going to be together at the very end, ruling the 7 kingdoms on the throne.
There you
go.
go.
I do think Gendry has a proper claim to the throne because Baratheon did as well. But mostly because I think Jon, who was the prince who was promised, I believe he has to kill Daenerys to actually banish the Night King. If you look into some of the lore, and I may be inaccurate, I probably am slightly inaccurate, go for it, fanboys. Just rip me apart on my lore knowledge. But the prince who was promised originally had banished the Night King by stabbing him with a sword, but the sword first had to be quenched through the heart of his lover. And so now that Jon and Daenerys are lovers and he loves her, he has to stick his sword in her heart before he can banish the Night King. Which means we have 2 dragons that are just running roughshod over the country now because they have no mother, and Arya has to put them down. And the dragons may or may not have to kill Jon Snow because he did kill their mom. And the Night King's gone. I think the last 3 episodes are actually going to be White Walker free, and they're going to be concerned with what do we do now that there are just dragons roaming the countryside fucking shit up for everyone.
I think you're right. I think you secretly wrote this. He wrote it. He wrote it. It all adds up.
I don't have my watch on today, but it seems like it's almost Game of Thrones o'clock. Let's do it.
We've been waiting.
Did you just watch the Game of Thrones season 8 premiere?
Yes.
Because I just watched it.
I watched it. But it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. Oh my God, HBO, why are you doing this to me? So, what are your favorite parts of this episode? What do you think actually is working for the story as we know it?
Well, my favorite part was the very end, where they fucking cut us off.
The cliffhanger. You love and hate the cliffhanger. You're like, why? But that's your favorite part?
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite part. And also when Jon Snow finally figures out who he is. His face was priceless. I don't know what's going through his head.
There's a lot of Skywalker moments in there where he's like, did I just fuck my aunt?
Exactly. I really love that scene because he was so confused and didn't know what to make of it. You fucked your aunt. But I think it's a lot more than that. It's him actually being the heir to the throne. I think that's definitely what he's thinking of now. And I know you weren't fond of that scene, but I loved it when him and Khaleesi were riding the dragons. That was awesome.
It felt like a forced fake connection where they're like, oh, let's race the dragons that we now both completely control.
But it was so cool because you got to see someone else other than Khaleesi riding that dragon. And it was their first, like, I guess, kiss. And
they kissed. They did more than kiss in the last season, Jay.
I know, but it felt more romantic.
Complete penetration.
It felt more romantic, and I really like that.
There are so many great moments in this episode, but a lot of really forced moments that I feel like would never happen in George R. R. Martin's world. Like specifically bringing Khaleesi to meet Samwell Tarly just to thank him for curing Jorah Mormont. She wouldn't do that. Okay. The next time she met Sam, she might say, oh, I heard you cured my friend Jorah here. You're awesome. I will be your friend. But she specifically suck him out? Seeked him out. There we go. The other one is wrong. She specifically seeked him out just to introduce the facts that she killed his father and brother. And that's going to be driving a wedge between Sam and Jon, who is completely in love with Daenerys and will not... I don't think will betray her for Sam. I mean, hoes before bros apparently for Jon Snow.
Yeah.
I think that's going to drive a wedge. I think there was a lot of forced conflict that didn't need to occur. When you're facing down a literal death in the face, you kind of forget all this like petty bullshit and you figure your shit out. And it was a lot of like, we're not going to figure this out in time. And then also we're going to race dragons to a waterfall because we need a scene where they seem like they're getting along really well. You couldn't just have them talk and make it apparent that they're getting along really well and also introduce facts into that situation that affects the story. Just saying, the dragon ride was an expensive waste of screen time.
It was awesome. Well, to your prediction, it looks like they're cooking up another or rekindling the connection between Arya and Gendry.
I couldn't really tell on first viewing what she asked him to build. My thought is it's a dragon killing weapon since she knows that there's an ice dragon out there.
It almost looked like either an attachment for the dagger that she already has, or maybe it is going to be a dragon glass dagger that comes apart. That's what it looked like. Wasn't sure. We're going to rewatch it.
We are not the people that screenshot this and go into the fine details of what this weapon looks like. We're the guys who drink their asses off and talk about Game of Thrones. Can we talk about Bran being just insistently creepy constantly?
Again?
Who wheels him these places? Somebody just wheels him out into the middle of the courtyard and leaves him there. He's like, I'm waiting for an old friend. The guy who fucked his sister and pushed me out the window.
Spoiler alert. But the best part...
Oh, this whole thing is a spoiler.
Yeah. Speaking about Bran and how weird he is, was when Jon Snow finally sees him after all these seasons, and he like shows his compassion for him and completely blows him off. He's like...
That's not the weird part. The weirder part is Jon says, you're a man now. And Bran just says... Almost. And that's it. That's all he says is I'm almost a man. What the fuck does that even
His balls didn't drop.
No, that's not what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's talking about being like some kind of weird extra-dimensional being. I'm sure there's a large plot point that hinges on him being the three-eyed raven that is completely disconnected from humanity. But at this point, it's just annoying. What I really think happens is he wargs into that guy that became the first White Walker, which was the Night's King. I think he wargs into him to try and figure out the past, and then dies in the present and gets stuck in the Night King. And so he is actually the Night King, and he sees centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries of men just killing each other for nothing, for an Iron Throne, and decides, hey, I'm Dr. Manhattan now. You guys need a common enemy to pull yourselves together and get your shit together. That's long way around. That was another prediction.
That kind of makes a lot of sense now. Because, I mean, from past seasons, we have shown him, I guess, connect with the... What's his name?
Night King?
Yeah. Connect with the Night King. So that's another great connection that you just cooked up again.
I drink and I know things. So Cersei basically tried to tell Bronn to kill the two guys that he actually likes. She said she's going to give him a lot of money, and Bronn's underlying motivation has been money. I still don't think he's going to go for it because there's been a lot of moments where money was a better option, and he was just like, I'm Bronn. I'm going to do things otherwise this. Blah, blah, blah. Because he just does whatever he wants. And usually it's money motivating, but sometimes he Han Solos it and is like, money's a good motivator, but I'm still going to, protect Luke in the trench of the Death Star. What do you think Jon is thinking about right now? Like, he's banging his aunt, and he does. I don't think he wants to stop.
Maybe it was 100% damn I fucked my aunt. That has to be running through his mind. He fucked his aunt and he's in love with her. That's it.
Yeah, he might not be wrong. What I think he's thinking is, I can't tell anybody about this. I can't tell anybody about this. And at the moment, I don't know why he didn't tell Sam not to tell anybody, but I think he's going to have to work through it for a minute and be like, listen, I still stand by Daenerys and like what she represents. I can't just come out and be like, hey, by the way, my crippled brother had a vision that I'm actually a Targaryen. Worship me now. Which, by the way, betrays his lover, who is his aunt. There's a lot of betrayal I think he feels like he would be doing to the realm, to his people, to Daenerys, to his own choices that kind of have put his people and Sansa and Arya at odds.
Okay.
If he admits that, no, we don't need her anymore, I'm the rightful heir, I think he betrays those choices and a woman that he loves. And kind of, if he doesn't tell everybody, then he's not a weirdo. That's probably not going through his head as much, but there's in the lizard brain of his mind, there's definitely like, oh, we're not supposed to fuck family members. This isn't Westeros, Kentucky. Next episode. You know what? Let's just keep predicting for the rest of the season because our original predictions must have changed in this first episode.
For the next episode or the next season, like I said, I have to completely agree with you about Arya and
No, his name is Jeremy.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
Arya and Gendry, whatever his damn name is. After this episode, you definitely see that connection, so I'm going to have to agree with you there. I think they are definitely going to have to bring up the whole situation of Khaleesi being his aunt. I think he will probably confront her about it. Just the way this first episode has unraveled, I think they, like you said, there's only 5 more episodes now, and six episodes, and stuff has to come out. So I think that might be the only time they ever mention this, and I think it's gonna have to be between those two.
No, it's not gonna be the only time they mention it.
You don't think so?
No, not at all. But
I'm saying just for this episode.
I do think you're right. I do think Jon and Daenerys are going to have that conversation, but I don't think Jon is ever going to make that publicly known.
Yeah, definitely not publicly known.
He's not a liar, but he's not gonna be like, hey, by the way, guys, I hope you forgive me, but incest.
I bet you when he does tell her, it'll just like turn out into like a makeup. Oh, let's have sex. I'm in love with you, Aunt. I don't care what he says or she says or what I am.
I think Jon's still gonna be like, it's cool. We're having really great sex and dragons, and we're gonna defeat dead people.
Yeah,
I think it's fine. What do you think she thinks of this?
I think she's gonna see this as a threat, as she always sees anything. I think she's gonna. You think the only thing she's ever wanted was to rule all 7 kingdoms, and I think this is something that's gonna definitely set her back.
You really think? But you think she's gonna take the personal relationship of her and Jon, and you think that she's going to say, "Oh no, you're the rightful heir. You have a better claim, so I perceive you now as a threat." Do you think that matters to her now? She's fully committed to fighting the White Walkers and the Whites. You really think she cares? I mean, she does care about the throne, but primarily she wants to save the realm. You think she actually does care more about the title and the...
I think she definitely sees, the war with the White Walkers as the main objective, but I think she will definitely have something scheming for Jon Snow. I think at the end of it, she's not going to be that... I think at the end of it, when she does find out in this next episode that she will not be that so in love with him, I think...
She's gonna like start internally withdrawing from Jon.
Yep.
Just so that later on, when she has to make the difficult choice of like, well, I can be the queen or you can be the king, it'll make it easier for her to make that choice.
Yep. And that dragon's gonna kill Jon.
I do think a dragon is gonna kill Jon, but mostly because of what I've said earlier, where Jon has to kill Daenerys to banish the Night King, and then dragons are gonna know, and they're gonna kill Jon, and then Arya's gonna kill all of them because Arya's the best.
And specifically to that one scene when they're hugging at the waterfall, and that dragon is just staring Jon down.
Well, the dragon is just a pervert. I don't know if you knew this. I don't know if you knew this, but in the books, the dragons are just perverts. They want to watch them bang their mom.
But I think that was definitely a scene that would lead up to something like that. Any more other predictions? I think Jaime is fucked in this episode. Guess what? I'm at the wall without no army that we promised you. No army? You're pretty much useless. I know.
No army? Because he's missing a hand. That's the pun.
Oh my god, that was so bad.
Fuck you. I have theories. You don't have theories. Fuck you. Army's fine.
I don't know exactly what he has in store for him, but I think there are a lot of people there that want his fucking head. I don't know if they're gonna kill him straight off there because you have your brother there to defend you.
Tyrion won't let Jaime die.
Exactly.
For no reason.
But I think Jaime's gonna have to pull something out of his ass, like an army. So I don't know what he's gonna do. Maybe they'll send him back to go get that freaking army because they really need him that bad.
Honestly, I think the Walkers are gonna hit Winterfell before then, and his Valyrian steel sword is going to be fucking useful in that instance.
Okay.
And he's going to, in some way, prove that he doesn't want Daenerys or anyone in that castle harmed more than they should be. Okay, Jay, on to the ratings. Between love and love, how do you feel about this episode?
I am amazed.
You fucker, that's not on the scale. It's love to love.
Then I loved it. I absolutely loved it. There's
That's right.
We've been waiting on this and they delivered. They've dropped some bombs on us that they didn't think they were going to do in the first episode, and they did it, and I want more. I want more. Why wasn't every episode an hour and a half long?
Between love and love, I actually loved it. It's amazing, and some of the writing has become predictable since they moved off of George R.R. Martin's books, but it's still a world and characters in which are incredibly interesting and continue to be added into more and more complex situations. And it's hard to fuck that up. As long as you give the creators enough space to work and enough money to work with, you're gonna have a golden A+ there from me. All right, fanboys and critics, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. And next week, guess what? We're checking out episode 2 of Game of Thrones Season 8. Can we talk about for a second how Beric Dondarrion tried to like search a corner with his eye-patched eye? He was just like, I'm gonna go. He's got an eye patch. He's like, corner right here, eye patch. He just goes, ooh.